Can someone tell us why our beloved Steve from Stranger Things is going around killing people in a rideshare? Make it make sense. I don't think I'll ever stop being amazed at the lengths some people will go to for fame and notoriety, especially in the age of social media. Now, to be fair, there are times when immensely talented people can get their big break through posting a video on TikTok or Instagram, and sometimes you have people who are just trying to be heard and seen and not feel so insignificant, and sometimes those people can go to extreme lengths, and sometimes it's just not the right course of action, and you're just wondering to yourself, why did you do that? Some of these questions do get asked if they're not necessarily providing much in the way of answers in the new comedy thriller horror film Spree, starring Joe Keery as Kurt, who is trying to build a name for himself on social media and has come up with a new way of driving traffic to his various social media accounts, as he's decided to live stream his rideshare shift as he goes around picking up passengers and murdering them. It's definitely a provocative idea, and I think that the whole framing device of viewing the entire film as a live stream complete with people commenting in is actually pretty inventive, so I will give the film points for that. You have this great claustrophobic feeling with the whole 360 camera view of the interior of Kurt's vehicle, and just seeing all the events that happen. It's definitely raising the tension as the film progresses, which I think is nice. And again, this is something that we've kind of seen before in other films, and you've kind of seen it with, the horror film Unfriended. You saw it with the missing person drama Searching with John Cho, and this is just another example of how filmmakers are using the viewer interfaces of social media to actually tell their story. And I think even for the times when events are taking place outside of Kurt's car, this is something that I thought was actually very interesting to watch play out for the most part, and I think that a lot of this is due to Joe Keery's performance as Kurt, because he's bringing over that charm and likability from his portrayal on Stranger Things, and seeing the turn of that character from being an antagonist to a de facto guardian to the kid characters in that show is really interesting to see translated to this film, where you're kind of put into a situation where you have to question whether or not you can like Kurt, even though you see and acknowledge the things that he's doing are terrible. Now, to be fair, some of the people that Kurt is picking up are legitimately terrible, so to a certain extent, you don't feel necessarily as bad as you should when Kurt poisons them with the free waters that are usually made available in an Uber or a Lyft. But I do feel that how they kind of show it off in the film and how certain things progress, I think that there's definitely something that is to be said about, internet culture and just the convenience we kind of take for granted as far as what it can provide us. Because there used to be a time when, your parents told you, don't get into cars with strangers, and now we create technology that literally has us calling strangers to pick us up in their car. And you kind of have to, recognize the irony of that to some degree. You do kind of get the sense that Spree doesn't want to cast Kurt as an outright villain, especially with the little bits you see of his tumultuous family life. His parents are divorced, his mom is a little overbearing, and his father is kind of a man-childish dude bro, played pretty well by David Arquette. I actually liked his addition to the cast. And you kind of have these moments where you're supposed to sympathize with Kurt, and then you also kind of think to yourself, well, there are plenty of people who have had similar experiences like this and aren't taking it to such extreme levels, so it's not like you're completely on board for what he's doing. This is something that is definitely sort of tempting you and testing your, I guess, moral compass to an extent. Of course, as strong as Joe Keery is in Spree, we also have to give credit to Sasheer Zamata in this film because she is absolutely amazing. She's playing a comedian, so she's not stretching things too far, but she's a character that ultimately becomes a passenger in Kurt's rideshare, and Kurt, seeing that she's someone recognizable and someone that he actually admires through her social media presence, he doesn't want to have anything to do with, killing her, which is nice. But you do kind of get this divergent side story that starts to happen as we kind of see the flip side of the idea of how people react to social media, and seeing her character, Jessie, as someone who, as much as she acknowledges the need for it, as she's trying to build her following as a comedian, she's also someone that does not want it to encapsulate her entire existence. And I think that's something that is definitely important to showcase in Spree, as it's a good, strong contrast to what we're seeing with Kurt. Things eventually start to get more absurd and more chaotic for Kurt, and just seeing how it all plays out for the last third of the film, it does start to feel like it's moving at this really breakneck pace. You do have a few bits of humor that kind of break the tension of everything, especially one scene involving a stop at a food truck, police, and a comatose DJ. And even for like the shock of that scene, it's still something that was kind of hilarious to watch happen, just given everything that's been building up to this moment. But you still kind of feel like the filmmakers are kind of rushing to get to the end of the film at this moment, and that can be a little jarring. It starts to feel like so much more of a traditional slasher film, and that can kind of sort of not necessarily mesh too well with some of the social commentary that they're trying to infuse. Now, I'm confident that Spree legitimately had things that it wanted to say about the nature of social media and the dangers of falling into these traps as far as not being able to separate it from real life, because I think that's definitely something that is important to talk about. But you get the impression that the filmmakers kind of stopped caring at a certain point, and you just kind of have something that felt really tightly paced for the first 2/3 of the film, and then chaos just explodes over the third act in a way that doesn't feel as satisfactory as I personally would have liked it to be. So I think that even if you were really looking forward to seeing this film, it might be a good idea to just wait until it's available on another platform, if it's, Amazon Prime or Netflix, or if you still have that thing, cable, whatever, it'll probably be on like Starz or HBO. But if you have to see it now, I'm not sure if I can really recommend it. But there are some good ideas, some good performances, and whenever it's available for free, that's definitely when you can check it out. Hey guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you'd like to leave your thoughts or opinions on Spree, you can go ahead and leave a comment in the section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the notification bell, share this video with your friends and family, and if you'd like to keep up to date on more At Random videos, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button right over here.